Hermano, how are you?
Good, and you?
Mate, just gets better every day. Mate, we're just about to release the Desnudo Nudies for 2021. They should be out at the end of this week. And I just wanted to speak with you and you speak with my friends, my members, because we've been on this journey for a fair while. You've been so helpful in getting this out. We've been bouncing blends off each other, etc. Your advice has been just tantamount to the success of this program. And the program is to develop cigars that we love to smoke, that we enjoy, that are missing in the world of cigars, certainly in the world of Habano cigars, because they've basically got rid of this entire Vitola lineup. So we tried, and last time in 2019, we tried to replicate a little bit like the Paredes Serie de Connoisseur #1 and #3 lines, and whether we could do it in non-Cuban tobacco, and I wasn't sure we could. But we went bloody close last time. I thought the last batch of 2019s were excellent. How would you describe them?
Number one, I never thought about the possibility to create something without Cuban tobacco that was so close to have the quality of the Cuban tobacco, being not Cuban tobacco. And to me, it was amazing. I smoke a lot, and I still do. And I'm so used to now for few years here, almost 7, I still love the Cuban cigars, but I'm already used to that kind of a little kick of Honduran and Nicaraguan tobacco and I think that's what we did when we created the other cigars. It was a good journey. It's a different, it's kind of like, it's a combination of both with a little bit of a kick, and
you can't replicate Cuban tobacco. I don't care what people say. It's there's a certain special quality. Is it the sweetness or the inherent mellow sweetness of Cuban tobacco? What is it?
It is something that's what I always tell the people here when they ask for my opinion about if this is real or it's not real. And I said, listen, all you need to do is to have 2 or 3 real Cubans, and after you get that flavor in your mouth, that's it. Nobody can lie to you anymore, because there's nothing like that. So that is a very distinguished sweetness that I only find out in the Cuban tobacco. But it doesn't mean that you cannot play around that sweetness.
You can play around with sweetness, and let's say one of your favorite cigars is the Partagas Lusitania. Yeah, you've always loved the Lusitania, and the Lusitania at its best has such a unique profile. Working with non-Cuban tobacco, I'm not quite sure how you can achieve a Lusitania profile. You wouldn't even come close, could you?
I don't know. At this point, I can tell you, I cannot do it, because I've been doing a lot of things that I never thought, even a little chance that I'm gonna be able to do. So now I just say, like, sky's the limit. It's a matter of time.
It is, because so when we first started out, we thought with the tobacco that we had at hand, we had available to us, we could get very close to a Serie de Connoisseur #1 and #3 profile, and we did. But we both said that what we'd like to do in the 2021 editions is how do I increase the sweetness in the cigar? And so we tweaked the blends, and then we introduced new wrappers to it.
That was the key.
The new wrappers have just picked it up 20-25% in terms of quality and balance and complexity
and sweetness. Like it is amazing. I'm smoking one of them right now. It's just sweet. It is. There's no other way to describe that. But still, the natural is sweet, but This one is like 3 times sweeter.
So I'm smoking the natural, guys, and the natural is very much, and effectively, I think these weigh just 9.3 grams. These weigh each. So if you look at a petite Corona is 8.46 grams in a petite Corona. So basically you're getting, in terms of size and smoking time, a petite Corona, even though we call it a Carlotta, it's a little bit narrower, but a little bit longer. So you're getting a little bit more tobacco in it, but it smokes very much like a petite Corona. And I've smoked both the Colorado Rosado, which is the one I'm smoking now, as well as the Colorado Maduro, and I've had 20, 30 of them each at this stage of the final blends. The Colorado Maduro is if someone had to describe it, and I have described it to people, it's like a Monty 4 meets a Rafael Gonzalez Corona Extra. It's got that lovely cocoa profile to it. It's got that sweetness in it, but the cocoa you really notice. And maybe it's because it's a 38 gauge and when using the Colorado Maduro wrapper, it really does impart that sweetness in there. The Colorado Rosado, on the other hand, this is still more Partagas, more Upman in its profile. It's a little bit fuller body to me, the Colorado Rosado. It doesn't have the same level of sweetness, but it's got more the almond type flavors, and it's more nuttiness. It's which comes, I suppose, back from that Rosado wrapper that you're getting. But if you were to describe the difference between the two, Hamlet, how would you describe it?
I mean, I agree with you. I like to use more like a simple rolling galera terms, you know. I agree with you. The Maduro is way sweeter than the natural, but I love both. You know, like they're different. They have different characteristics, but I would say the Maduro. I would go every day with the Maduro. In the morning, I love it. I love this cigar in the morning.
With a cup of coffee?
Yeah, man. Like that's as I'm doing right now. It's amazing, you know.
It's good.
The natural really reminds me like just once in a while I realize that I'm not smoking a Cuban because it is not a Cuban, but I get lost. I get lost in my smoke. You know, I that's the way I describe it. Like, and I love the fact that it doesn't have any bands because make you get lost earlier than later. You know, in your smoke and your imagination. You know, and in your palate.
Yeah.
So.
Let's now move to the Lancero, the N1s, because the Lanceros do taste different to the Carlotta. How would you describe that difference in between the Lanceros and the Carlotta?
I think that like the Lancero just give you more time to enjoy the development of the blend. Carlotta, you get to the point from A to B faster. Lancero gives you more time to enjoy and to have an idea for a longer period of time of what are the different stages of the blend, which I love it. I love it because it gives you time to understand what was the blend all about.
I find the Lanceros of 21 to be, if anything, more elegant. They're certainly more elegant than the Lanceros that we did in 2019. These are more elegant cigars. There's more finesse to them. The Colorado Maduro has introduced again that coffee, that cocoa nature to it. The natural is just a beautiful cigar as well, but completely different. And I don't know, is there a theory as to the length of the cigar, how that affects the flavor of the cigar?
It does. But it does also, everything depends on how do you place the blend inside any cigar. You can affect in a good or bad way, but you can change or not the blend. Depends on how do you place the leaf inside. And the Lancero is very, very delicate. when you are blending that, the people that are making them, they got to be very careful because you can tweak the blend, even though if you don't want it, very easily. So you have to be very careful when you making a cigar that long, that skinny, because a lot of things are going on in the blending and in the making of the cigar. It doesn't happen the same with shorter cigars, with the room for errors are way smaller than in a long cigar. So Lancero had both of the handicap. It's long, but it's skinny. So you gotta be very, very careful when you are making it. That's why I'm very glad that whenever I smoke a Lancero the way this smoke, I say, God bless the hands that made that, because it's not easy. It's one of the most complicated cigars to be made, and it's one of the most complicated cigars in the world. That for you to keep the consistency in the blend, you can change the blend. Fortunately, very, very easy, and that's a big part of the quality on the blending in that size. I do believe, yeah, size change the blend. They do.
Yeah. I was going to say, can you explain to our members the difference in rolling technique in Cuba as opposed to non-Cuban factories? And have you attempted to roll these the same way you'd roll them in a Cuban factory?
Well, the ones that we do in the Nicaraguan factory, they're exactly the same way as the Cuban one.
Yeah.
So the person in charge there is a Cuban cigar roller, Cuban blender. So it's the same method, the same way to do, and which is entubado, and it's exactly the same way. It's all by hand. The only difference is, which is in my opinion better, blending wise and production wise, is that in Cuba a roller makes the whole thing, bunch and the wrapper, and in these factories, no. In the non-Cuban factories, it's a combination of a pair, two people. One person do the blending, the rolling, the other person does the wrapping. So, which is way better, because what you're doing is you cut it in half. The amount of people that is rolling, and only half of them are blending. The other half are only dressing the cigars. So it's very easy to control the consistency and the blend.
So you've got four sets of eyes on a cigar, in effect, in terms of consistency, in terms of maintaining a blend, in terms of maintaining a quality finished article. And
so people that do only wrapping, that's all they do. So they are really masters of what they do. And people that are blending, they just blend. So the only handicap with that is most of them, they don't know how to do the other part. But it's okay. So versus Cuba, I don't say that Cuba doesn't do well, but one person does everything. So in terms of production, quality, and consistency, in my humble opinion, the non-Cuban fighters got the trophy, because one person in Cuba can do 120 robustos in a day. A pair in Nicaragua, Honduras can do 450. So quantity, quality, consistency. This side here, we know what it's all about. You know, it is all over the place. You can have a very good one, and you can have a terrible one. So, and that's the reality. It cost me a few years to digest that. I still don't like it when they tell me, because I don't like that nobody talk anything wrong about my country. But the reality is the reality. I cannot cover.
My bloody hell! As a retailer of literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Cuban cigars a year, I can tell you that. Well, to be fair, 2021 has been, in terms of quantity, appalling. The number of cigars coming out, for all the reasons everyone already knows. The number of cigars coming out has been has been pitiful. However, the quality has been exceptional. And I wonder if that's because, you know, we always think about it because they slowed down, because they didn't produce as many cigars, because, you know, people, it would be a completely different framework that they've been working in this year in Cuba in terms of cigar production. But generally, consistency has always been the biggest issue of Cuban cigars. You know, and I suppose we all know the master rollers out of Cuba, yeah. And they're celebrated, the master rollers. I mean, God knows you were one of them, yeah, or are one of them, were one of them, one of the master rollers. Has there ever been I mean, I don't come across non-Cuban master rollers as such, because there's no, well, if you're working in pairs, there's no need to have a master roller, is there?
I never thought in that, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You gotta talk about both, because
yeah,
you know what I mean. Or a master blender, yes, you can.
yes, master blender, you have them both.
Yeah,
but to have a master blender roller,
I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know. Everybody that I've seen a few that they can do it all, but and I know I met some people that, you know, as in Cuba, we are the people that had the opportunity that you guys meet. But how many other master rollers or master blenders are in Cuba that they just pass by and nobody ever meet them or know about them because they're not in contact with, you know, with the outside of a factory. So I guess the same happens in these countries also in the major scale, because the way Cuba is, and you know, you don't see a cigar store with a roller that people go there and ask for custom rolls and this and that. In these other countries, you can have one here and there, but they're mainly selling a brand. They don't sell it themselves. So, which is, I believe, is one of the reasons why. And then whoever is a master blender or roller is belong to a company or to a factory, and that's their job, to blend and to roll for that factory. So it's a different, but they are master blenders. Although a lot of them are from Cuba, immigrate and join these companies and factories, you know, which is funny too, you know.
Listen, I'm gonna ask you something, because there's a common, and I think it's a misconception, and it is a misconception, that non-Cuban cigars don't age well, or don't age at all. And we noticed that with the 2019, in both the Lancero and the Carlotta, but specifically in the Carlotta, the Lancero was very smooth from the beginning with. The Carlotta was a little bit rough to begin with in that 2019. It had some mongrel to it, which is great because that's what I wanted. And the Paredes Serie de Connoisseur number 3 has mongrel, and it's one of the things I love about the Connie 3. But then I saw its transition over 2 years, and it smoothed right. The aging process, 18 months to 2 years, did so much for that cigar that it's still one of my favorite cigars. I will go to it. I will go to that Carlotta 4 or 5 times a week now, just to smoke it, because it has mellowed out. It's become more complex, but it still retains that poof, that little bit of a hit there. Non-Cuban tobacco, it ages well.
Of course.
Do you agree? Yeah.
150%. Yeah, it does. It does. Let's begin with, and I don't want to say something that against nobody, but I'm going to talk about what I've been using and doing since I've been here. The tobacco that we actually use for we to produce cigars is very well aged already. It's not so, I mean, it's no less than 2 years old. No less than that. They're really no less than 2 years old, aging already. So that's part of the process too. So if somebody asked me this question, I would say, well, even before we made the cigar, it's been aging already. We just transforming the how are you gonna look at the leaf? Instead of you don't want to see a leaf anymore, you're gonna see this. But this is made with a leaf, the same leaf that been aged for 2 or 3 years. And now they are inside here. And now they're gonna keep aging. So yes, they do. And they taste better and they got just the high amount of quality and flavor when you smoke it. Like I can give you an example. Like almost 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 6.5, I came out with the Tabacara, the first blend, which was a freaking like all Nicaraguan Maduro Mexican wrapper, and it was a missile. If you try Tabacara now from that day, smooth, still had the kick, but it's a totally different cigar that it was 6.5 years ago, and that's a perfect example.
I've been smoking the Tabacara Coronas from that period now because I couldn't smoke the Tabacara Corona. That's too.
Sorry.
Honestly, I think it was probably one of the freaking strongest cigars I've ever tasted. Yeah. Now I've got D's brought home 6 bundles of Coronas and they're resting in my humidor here because I went back and I tried one about 4 months ago. And I said, bloody hell, now it's got flavor. Now it's balanced. Now and it's got years to go. It's got years to go to get it well, but I'm enjoying the flavor profile. But mate, honestly, 6 years ago, whew, it knocked me around.
But still some people that I want to let them to try and they try before, they're like, no. I wanna be okay. I wanna say no, it's a different cigar. And then when they try it, and it's the same thing. I said, try it. If you don't like it, it's okay. You put it down. And they're like, man, but this is not. I'm like, wow, man, it's been almost 6 years in between. This cigar have been resting, melon, and have been getting together.
Now, here's a question for you. You obviously put Ligero in that Tabacara Corona, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. If there's no Ligero in the nudies whatsoever, is that part of the learning process for you during that period of time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was like I never thought in my life to blend a cigar with no Ligero at all. And then I mean, it was tough for me to begin it from zero again, kind of. It wasn't from zero, but after 23 years of my life blending only Cubans, I using Cuban tobacco, then now I have tobacco that I never touched in my life, that I never tried, that I never tasted. And it's been, I mean, it was the tougher and it was the nicer one at the same time, because kind of like I begin from zero, but already with 23 years of experience to play around with all this. So I get to the point 2 years later that when I was blending the 25th year, that I didn't need the Ligero to be in the party because I was looking for something mild to medium, like solid medium, no more than that. And even though if I reduce the quantity of Ligero to almost zero, if I left a piece of it in there, it was too strong. And then I decided to try it with no Ligero. And I did replace the Ligero for another leaf. And voila, boom, I got it. So, and that's what I've been doing. The next 2 blends, my last 3 blends and brands have 0 Ligero inside. And nobody believed it because the 2020 and the Liberation, they are medium plus. They are not mild at all. They're medium plus. And I let the people just to smoke it half, a little bit more than half. And then I said, okay, how much Ligero do you think is inside there? 1 leaf, half, 1.5. And I said, it's 0. It's no Ligero in there. What? And I said, yeah, it's not. So that's because of the power of the tobacco that I'm using. You don't actually necessarily need to touch the hair and put it in. You have another leaf in the same tobacco from the same country that they are as powerful or a little bit less, but they have more aroma. So I did replace the strand for aroma, which is I nailed it right there. Like, and I would keep doing that. I don't need it. I don't need to overpower a blend if I don't need it. If I want to make a medium to full, then I would do something a little bit less, but something around the Tabacara blend. But if I want to move myself where I am, in the medium, mild medium, medium plus, but closer to the medium than to the strong, I would be swimming in that water, and I would not touch the lighter again. I would not. I don't need it.
Where would you put these cigars in terms of body?
I would say they are like the Lancero Natural is like it's a mild to medium cigar. Maybe at the end just go a little bit over medium, but it's in that range. Carlota is a little bit more explosive, but still, even though cross the line of a medium, it doesn't go to up to the end.
Full body, no,
at all. It's not a full body. So, and then in the Maduro side, they'll actually, I think people is gonna be more focused on all the flavors, and that honestly, they're gonna forget about the strand of the cigar. They're just gonna be involved in that what's going on, all these sweetness and flavors. But still, it's not. I don't. I would say maybe a little bit less than the natural, less strength.
just a touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, mild, medium, maybe. I would say the Carlota, maybe it's gonna go over, but just a little bit. But they're over there, like in the mild, medium range. My opinion.
How many of these do you smoke a week?
A lot. I would say at least one a day.
Yeah,
Please.
same here. Yeah,
Please.
well done. No, same here. I enjoy them. Mate, that wraps it up. But I just want to say thank you for all your help on this one. Your input has been remarkable. Remarkable. Thank you for that. For all our members who, especially those who love skinny cigars, yeah, because those who love skinny cigars often don't have a lot of choice, and the skinny cigars that are normally non-Cuban, generally, well, I find them too strong. I find them too strong, and often they do use ligero in them, and it's not something that I appreciate. I don't want a pepper stick. I want something that's balanced and something I can smoke every day. As you said, with a Carlota with a cup of coffee in the morning is one of the great joys of life for me. And sitting down with a beautiful Lancero is and an affordable Lancero at the same time. I mean, you don't have to fork out dollars for a Trinidad Fundadores or a Cohiba Lancero. These things will stand up on their own and deliver just deliver. And that's what we want as people who love tobacco, people who love cigars. Cuban or non-Cuban, to me, makes no difference at all. Let's celebrate cigars and celebrate the people we share them with. So we've done this for ourselves, and I hope you guys will join us on this journey. Pick some up. I like the jewel packs, 15 Maduro and 15 in the natural. Will suit most of you guys down to the ground. And God knows if you love them that much, I'll produce some more in the next quarter, and you can refill. But enjoy them. But still, at the same time, put them away, especially the naturals. Put them away for 6 months or so. Try them, but then put them away for a little bit, because there's a lot of improvement coming through on those, as we've discovered, I think accidentally, in the 2019s. The level of improvement is quite remarkable. Enjoy. Hermano, thank you for everything. Yeah.
My pleasure.
And on behalf of FOH, I know a lot of the boys catch up with you at events, both in the US and around the world. You're much loved in our community, mate. You're much loved. And I look forward to seeing you again and again soon.
Me too, brother. Thank you to everybody. Thank you. And I'm here to help you anytime. Anytime.
Cheers, mate. Ta. Hasta luego.
Bye.
And to FOH, enjoy. I'll see you on the forum shortly. Cheers.